is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to go Liverpool into
Welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? This is the preview show. My God. Anyway, it's me, your boy Slim, as always. Little bit kerfuffled today, technical issues, Liverpool results not being greatest, but we're here, back at it. And Professor Paul, mate, you're becoming part of the furniture. What's that mean?
Yeah, can't keep away.
So much to say, yeah, but we ain't got a lot of time today, okay?
Man, it's quick and concise.
And of course, my boy, the guy the pod would not be possible without engineer Sam in the building. Da-da-da.
Evening, chaps.
Anyway, now I've got my bearings. Let's get going. We're here to preview Tottenham, Liverpool. Usually I start with the opposition, yeah, but let's start with us because I think we need the most airtime right now. The last run of results haven't been great, namely Burnley at home, and then obviously Manchester United away in the Cup. Well, to be fair, Manchester United away in the Cup, there were positives, but the result was a negative. What we got to do to win a game, boys? Tell me, Paul.
I'm not sure I've got the answer. I thought I did before. I was probably riding off Klopp's coattails, you know what I mean? But Thiago is the person we were waiting for when we went through this bad form, and he's got in the team now. And to me, it looks like he's not really suited at the moment to playing too deep. Even in a double pivot against Burnley, I thought sometimes people would sort of, thrust past him, if you know what I mean. Like he's only played a few games. Do you know what I mean? We asked him to do a lot.
I don't think it's his fitness though, because Thiago's not the quickest player though, is he?
So, you think it's just literally speed? Yeah, exactly. And just being accustomed to playing in a different league. I mean, there must be players who played before, not super fast, but can still, maybe cover ground or anticipate, knowing their opposition, knowing their players. So, I would like to see him play number 8 now. I know a few people have talked about him playing in the 10 or tip of a diamond. I think we've got enough midfielders to play 4-3-3 still as an 8 and get Ronaldo or Henderson if he's back at number 6 and see what happens there.
Sam, what do you make of the criticism that came a couple of weeks back of Thiago slowing down our game? Namely, Didi Hamann, which I was a little bit disappointed in personally, saying that he slows our game down. He's not quite a Liverpool player.
Do you know what? I found it really, really bizarre. I don't know where it came from, but to the average armchair fan like ourselves, if anything, as soon as he gets the ball, he's on the front foot and he drives forward. And he always plays incisive passes. So I don't know whether Hammond's comments are based on him taking too many touches, which I don't think happens. He plays a lot of first-time passes, a lot of two-touch football. It was weird for me. It seemed like it was just out of nowhere, and I don't really see what the foundations are from where it's actually come from. For me, he's the most forward-thinking, progressive, fast-passing midfielder that we have. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have him out of the team under any circumstances. I agree with what Paul said in terms of the fact that he's playing too deep. I think I called that in the game against Newcastle when it just seemed like he was getting overrun. And that's not because he's a bad player. I mean, he can't tackle, don't get me wrong. He does throw himself about and he tries, but it's just like, it seems like it's too much for him being a single holding midfielder. And we all know our best holding midfielder is in defence at the moment. So again, if you play him, you've got to play him as an 8. And yeah, I agree. It's either got to be Henderson or preferably at this moment, in terms of mobility, it's got to be Wijnaldum playing at a 6 for me.
Well, speaking of Henderson, is there an injury worry with Henderson, or is he just being protected?
I don't know. We hear it's a minor muscle injury, but 2 games, no sight of him. I don't like stuff like this. Because then all of a sudden you actually get some proper news, and then it's 2 weeks or whatever the case is.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah. If I'd have seen him at the game and they said, yeah, he was just rested, waiting for the Spurs game. Fair enough, but I've not seen him in any of the shots, the training pictures, anything for coming up a week now. So that's a bit of a worry.
I'm just googling stuff, and nothing even pops up really. You know, like there's usually something on Twitter, or nothing's popping up. In fact, Google his name. The last story is like 22 hours ago about football. Anyway, other stuff's about NHS and stuff. So
we
I'm not sure what's going on.
We miss Henderson in the six, and I think we missed him a lot against United in the cup. And I think Reece Williams got exposed for it because obviously Trent does what Trent does, gets forward, which is what he's expected to do, and it leaves a lot of space. And I think Rashford exploited that space. I wouldn't like that same space to be available to Spurs because your likes of Son, Bergwijn, or any of those whoever plays will exploit the same space. So I think we need Henderson back in that six. Failing that, it's got to be Wijnaldum, someone with a bit of energy, someone who can make a decent tackle, and someone who... Well, Wijnaldum can't pass the ball like Henderson, but he can protect the ball and he can give the ball to the right players. So, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, Slim, to see Thiago still play. This is something in training, Klopp might be thinking, might see the same things, but think, well, let me keep playing him and let him improve. And Matip might play, and we might not even notice, because obviously we play such high-risk football. Two defenders against the two forwards, whoever, you know, we used to Van Dijk or Gomez sizing them up, and you know, I'm confident with Fabinho and Matip doing the same role. So
what you're saying, Paul, is if Matip's fit enough to play there, you don't mind Thiago being in the six?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want him to play there, but if Matip's there and I see Thiago, I'll have less trepidation to whether even Henderson or Reece Williams is having to play there. But Williams, I'm sure we'll come on to it. Williams can't play there again, I don't think.
Well,
Paul, is that your comfort in having Matip there? Is that because he brings the ball further out of defence and that will naturally push Thiago further forward in any case?
Didn't even think of that. Yeah. I was just thinking more about one-on-one defending, that he's got a decent bit of pace and he's got confidence in himself to challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's just confidence as well. I remember Reece Williams played nearly the whole group stage, and we topped the group, and we were like, yeah, look at this boy, and he was defending one-on-one. The confidence went. He hasn't got pace, and I mean, I don't Sunday night
the confidence
diving in.
I just think he can't play against pace. Even though he's young and in himself he'll feel fit enough. Like, yeah, I can take Marcus Rashford. In a foot race, you can't.
Yeah, but what they usually do, defenders, is like people like what I've seen him do before was just try and jockey best you can, the best you can.
I understand that's what you should do, but to jockey against a player like Marcus Rashford is not an easy task because he's tricky. He's good with his feet. He pushes it one way and goes the other. So you might try and jockey, but unless you've got the experience, which he doesn't, it's not going to work. Which he got found out in the Champions League. Who did he come up against of the same ilk as Rashford?
No, you're right. Yeah,
there you go.
But the Tottenham game, there was 3 occasions. I think he got ripped for the goal. I think it was him. I can't remember. But there was 2 occasions he sort of saw Son. You know, he just saw him to the left, and you know, then Son stopped and passed it back inside. Blah de blah. What worried me, and again, like thinking about, you have a system. We have 2 defenders against basically the world usually. And him diving in, that was such a worry for me. Like how someone's like none of us really rate him that highly at the moment, but that was even different to how he was playing a month ago. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about some amateur stuff, diving in, and once he's done it twice.
Yeah, he went to ground a few times in the FA Cup game.
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah, sold himself.
Do you know what? Sorry to cut you this. In terms of diving in. We played against United, and Wan-Bissaka is renowned for being this great tackler. Yeah, he's a guy that consistently dives in, but because he gets the ball the majority of the time,
that's the difference.
It's something that maybe will develop in time with Reece Williams once he understands the game a little bit more.
Exactly.
There's a time to dive in, there's a time to gamble,
yeah.
And his experience isn't at a level. And I think that panic set in. And he's like, shit, I've got one decision to make. I've got to give it everything and try and dive in for the ball. And don't get me wrong, when he did that, I laughed because I thought to myself, this kid just doesn't know yet. He just doesn't know. And so I'm not gonna dub him, but I think it might come. It might come. I'm not completely writing him off. That's what I'm saying.
I
He's
would
still
say
young. He's got plenty of time.
I would say he'd be quite a rare centre back, not a fullback who dives in and wins, and that becomes like a trademark. Because Wan-Bissaka actually picks up quite a few yellow cards. Because I think he's quite an intimidating fullback. It's like a kind of old school one. He snaps at heels, so sometimes people don't even want to try and take him on because they know he doesn't give two hoots about getting a rake on your ankle, the ankle bone, or whatever. And if he does miss him, he'll get the book in because he's fast, and he will catch him. They won't get past him. Or there's still centre backs to cover, isn't there? Or midfielder. He's out wide on the right.
So with all this in mind, what we're saying about Williams, Thiago, Henderson, who would be your centre back pairing and then your midfield three for the game against Spurs? Go, Sam.
Centre back's definitely going to be Matip and Fabinho, if he's fit, which I presume he is. Midfielders, I would have Winnie at 6, Hendo and Thiago at 8. I don't think we've got much choice with that. I do not want to see Milner start 2 games in a row. We haven't got much options. Ox isn't ready to start again. He seems like he's lost all form and all confidence as well. Keita, who knows where he is.
He's in the gym, Sam.
I heard that. You're right. Yeah, he's doing weights. So we're going to be all right. When he comes back, we'll be okay.
I was just talking about Naby Keita. Yeah, he's apparently in the gym, bulking up, trying to, gain the muscle mass that he needs in order to be a bit more fit, which is what he's actually needed. A lot of us have said it many a times that he needs to, get stronger. So hopefully the work he's putting in the gym is going to make him stronger and he can last on the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't that ridiculous, though? 2.5 years into his Liverpool career, and now they realise he needs to bulk up. What the hell? We saw it from early.
Mate, that's what I was going to... And we were talking about it being a thing about being robust to face, to win the... Because he can ride challenges, but there's certain angles when a footballer's playing that you're just going to get sent. Do you know what I mean? My son is quite small for his age. He plays under 10. And everyone remarks about, how is he so strong? He's so strong. But in the flip side, another challenge, he may go flying. It depends on how you put your body. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one final point about Keita and bulking up. They also mention it being about him resisting injuries, like muscle injuries. And like Sam said, why are we taking that long to work that out?
Yeah,
that should be basic.
Like you said, Sam, we've been calling it for a long time. But okay, so that's your back line and midfield three. What about yourself, Paul?
Yep, same back line, same midfield three. I've been talking a lot about substitutions. If we need it, especially I think I would keep the midfield how it is, as long as they're performing. But Curtis Jones, I thought he was decent against United. He's still playing within himself. He still seems to have a degree of, not confidence, because he's a confident guy, more fear of doing something wrong. But he would be a good sub for maybe a Henderson or a Ronaldo if they're tiring in the 8 position. I'm sorry, a Thiago or a Henderson if we go with the team we were thinking. And then the front three is normal.
I'd go with a Matip and Fabinho at centre back. Yeah, definitely. But I feel like my midfield three will be, if he's fit, I'd go Henderson, Thiago, and I'm Shaqiri because
I forgot about him.
I think Shaqiri is tapping into a little vein of form. I just feel like he played well in the last couple of games he's been in, and I just feel like he's on the precipice of a couple of good games. The couple of good games we need to get us back on a winning run. And I just feel
Say that word against him. Say that word again.
Precipice.
What?
I WhatsApped him on the
You've been
slide.
rolling Professor Paul, innit?
Okay. For you, Engineer Sam, we're teetering on the edge.
Oh, right, yes.
I feel like Shaqiri is, like I said, just about to find some good form, the form that we need. Do you know what I mean? Playing in that little role in that hole, he's got a good eye for a pass. And I just feel like going any more defensively or with, say, a Curtis Jones, I don't think we need to. I think we got nothing to lose. A draw in this game for me isn't good enough. Only thing that's acceptable is 3 points. We need to get back to winning ways. So you might as well throw all your best cards on the table. So for me, that. So
do you say you would take out Ronaldo?
I'd be more inclined to play Henderson, Thiago, and Shaqiri. If Henderson's not fully fit and can't make the whole 90 minutes, then I would play Wijnaldum. That's what I would do.
Okay. Yeah, Shaqiri's played well since he's come back. He looks fit. He looks quite sharp. But we're still looking for a bit more from. I'd like him to be a little bit more even central and take some shots. Where's his shots coming? Like, let's get some shots in there.
It's my new.
We've got another guest, yeah.
She's causing mayhem.
Mascot.
She's causing mayhem at my feet, so I'm picking her up. Yeah. So that's who I would go with, to be fair. And just quickly, a special mention to Firmino. I don't know what happened to him during the FA Cup game, but can the same thing happen against him against Spurs? he came to life in that game.
I'm surprised he came off the pitch, to be honest.
Anyway, we have to obviously mention there are two teams playing, so we have to talk about Spurs. Do they have any injury concerns, Paul?
I don't believe so. I think the main injury or person we're not going to see who we're expecting probably is Gareth Bale. That's one of the most strangest signings or strangest situations of the season. So I think we're going to be facing Bergwijn, Son and Kane again. And this is the one I was talking about. Mourinho. Everyone knows I dislike him, his philosophies. Ndombele. Now this guy's playing well now. I'm hoping Mourinho reverts the type and you just see him on the bench. Because it's still a possibility.
Because he scored that worldie in the was it in the FA Cup?
It's a league game, I think. Yeah.
No, it wasn't the league game. It was.
I've heard he scored. Yeah, he scored another good goal, wasn't he?
FA Cup. It was in the FA Cup.
Yesterday or the day before.
No. Against that team from Liverpool.
Marine.
Yes.
Oh, I never saw that goal. I know I saw his lob.
Yes.
He scored a lob against
It was Marine.
That was against Sheffield United. It was league. It was
Sheffield United.
It was the
He
league.
scored a lob. Yeah.
Sheffield United.
Yeah. You might be right. Yeah. And it was a decent strike. Yeah. So he's in a bit of form. But like you said, Mourinho is the guy. You could think you're doing well, and then next minute you're on the bench.
Yeah.
How do you expect him to approach this game, Sam? Being the home team.
I think he's finally going to get brave. Why would he park the bus? Why would he? We're fragile right now. We're fragile and we're vulnerable. So he's at home. Forget the fact that there's no fans. We're close to them in the table. I expect him to attack the game and to try and win. And realistically, that suits us. Considering how we played against United, and they didn't really hold at all. They weren't defending deep or anything like that. So I'm all up for it, man. Let him come at us and let's have a gunfight, innit? Like, that's all we've got at the moment. That's all we've got. So I imagine that he will approach it really guns blazing, and we're gonna see like first season at Chelsea Mourinho type play. I think tomorrow on Thursday night. Interesting.
Only thing for me to ask you boys is a score prediction. I'm gonna go with you, Engineer Sam.
Because we're draw specialists, I'm going for 2-2.
What about yourself, Professor Paul?
I think we're going to win this one. If Matip and Henderson are back, I'm going for a win. If one of them or both are not playing, well, it's going to be one of them is not playing. I think maybe a draw, especially if Wijnaldum's not playing 6.
What kind of draw?
Maybe I'm afraid maybe a bit of a ball draw, 1-1, 0-0. Yeah.
Fair enough. My head's telling me draw, but my heart's telling me 2-1 Liverpool, or should I say 1-2 Liverpool, innit? But yeah, so I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. But, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, Bingy Boy Slim, listen, do all that good stuff for me, people. Like, share, subscribe, click notifications, man. Then we come to you and we can tell you when we're about. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Your boy, as always, Professor Paul, thank you very much.
Respect.
Engineer Sam, do what you do, my homie.
On this thing.
Until the next time, people.
We out.
Yay! Yay!